One segment of cars that I miss and that I want to see make a return today are the big luxurious two-door coupes, and it looks like Mercedes here is starting to think about bringing back the S-Class coupe, which was discontinued, I do believe, in 2020. But the thing about big luxury coupes like this, the reason why I like them so much is, first of all, when it comes to designing these cars, when you have a stretched out wheelbase, you only have two doors, what you can do as a designer is really stretch out the lines and create very long, fluid lines with a short greenhouse, and it just makes it's easy to make a car like this look beautiful. And I think the previous S-Class coupe was a beautiful car, and if they make this one, is also going to be a stunning looking vehicle. So what we're going to do in this video is have a look at what's going on with Mercedes and this potential new S-Class coupe that they are in fact developing. And then I want to show you behind the scenes of what's going on inside of Mercedes's design studios, because I think I'm always fascinated when I see, you know, a car go from initial hand sketch, Photoshop sketch, then you go into 3D modeling, clay modeling, full-size clay, and then of course into the production model. I think it's very, very cool to see, and I want to share that video with you as well, and then go into Photoshop and have a look at these spy photos that we have and check out what we can make out under the camo, what's going on with this new S-Class. So first of all, let's check out this article from COUPE. So I'm going to link everything down in the description if you want to go and check it out. So Mercedes maybe bringing back AMG and Maybach S-Class coupe. Yes, do it, Mercedes. So new trademark filings hint at the possible return of the S-Class coupe, potentially as a part of a limited Mythos series or a bespoke coach-built project. So the models feature AMG and Maybach branding. So we have two different versions here. We have pictures of both of them, with the latter featuring a split rear window. I love it. It looks great. It looks very elegant and classy. The listings were not filed by Mercedes itself, but could hint at a limited production model. The two-door luxury coupes might be a dying breed. Unfortunately, that is true, but it seems Mercedes-Benz isn't ready to let the concept fade away just yet. And another reason why I love these big coupes is, if you see one out on the streets and you kind of know that the person driving this has an appreciation for the finer things in life and don't necessarily always put practicality ahead of beauty, and that is sort of what I like about owners and people who buy these type of vehicles. So this trademark here were filed not by Mercedes, it was said, but it was filed by a Swiss company called Robu Aktiengesellschaft, point to a coach build project that could bring the elegance of a flagship sedan into a two-door format. I'm going to show you what I think could be different with these designs here. I'm going to make a quick little redesign in Photoshop from side view, focusing on the greenhouse a little bit more, have more of a coupe style. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. So while the Mercedes S-Class coupe was in fact discontinued in 2020 due to lackluster sales, the appeal of a luxurious, highly exclusive land yacht evidently hasn't disappeared. For deep-pocketed customers, the allure of a modern two-door S-Class may have inspired this effort. If these trademarks are anything to go by, the latest S-Class is about to get a dose of sleek coupe cool factor it's been missing. I don't think it's been missing that. I think the S-Class look fantastic. I think it's one of the better looking Mercedes on sale today. So both Maybach and AMG versions seen in these patent appear to share a similar profile, characterized by elongated front doors and reworked roofline. I don't think it's reworked enough though, and that is what I talked about earlier. I'm going to show you in Photoshop, quick redesign. The greenhouse design has been adjusted to complement the two-door body style, though it doesn't seem to replicate the frameless window design of the last S-Class coupe, and that's a pretty big deal. I like frameless windows because, you know, the old CL from the early 2000s, when you roll down the windows, it looked like almost like a convertible because you just had a single roofline looking very beautiful, and that is what I want to see in these as well. So the badging on the profile reads, on the, let's see, the AMG version reads V8 bi-turbo E performance, suggesting this coupe might be powered by the 791 horsepower plug-in hybrid powertrain from the four-door AMG S63 sedan. And that, I would not say no to that at all. It sounds very cool. So, however, the bi-tone paint job and multi-spoke wheels hint at a Maybach inspired opulence rather than pure AMG aggression. So this one up here seems to be. Let's see what this is all about here. Which one this is? Why can't I enlarge the photos here? Doesn't really seem to work. But what we have here seems to be the AMG version, because you can see that we have the quad tailpipes right here, but we still have these beautiful multi-spoke wheels that suggests that this is more of a luxurious vehicle than an AMG. So the Maybach branded coupe incorporates signature chrome accents, bespoke badging, and most notably a split rear windscreen or window. And that is one detail that is probably going to be very, very expensive to manufacture, but it's going to look fantastic. It's reminiscent of the Vision Mercedes Maybach 6 concept from 2016. And powering this Maybach version could be the twin-turbo 6-liter V12 engine found in the Maybach S680, and that comes with 621 horsepower, which is, of course, enough. But would I want to have the more powerful 791 AMG V8 instead of the V12? Honestly, I'm not sure, because the V12 is probably a little bit smoother here than the V8, even though it's a little bit less powerful. So it's a difficult choice there. So here we have, this is the Maybach version. So I think we can probably, I don't know why I can't maximize these photos here like I normally can. It's just something wrong with the website, I guess. But here you can see the roofline, very long, still the S-Class wheelbase, and we have a massive greenhouse here. We're gonna fiddle around with the greenhouse in just a minute here and check this out. But it looks beautiful. It looks very, very luxurious, of course. So the S-Class Coupe may emerge as ultra-exclusive coach-built creations, either produced independently or under Maybach's own Mythos program. There's even been chatter that Maybach aims to expand into the coach build segment. And the two luxury coupes today, we basically have two of them here. So we have Rolls-Royce Spectre, which is a full EV, of course, and the sportier Bentley Continental GT dominate this segment. If Mercedes, Maybach, and AMG coupes materialize, they could inject some much-needed diversity into this niche, and that is exactly what I want to see. I do think that there's a market for this, specifically, as I said, for specific people that like class and like style, still want to have an S-Class, but they don't necessarily always have, you know, a lot of people with them. They don't need the 4 doors. They just want to have a big, beautiful coupe. This is a car for them. So meanwhile, it's worth pointing out that Mercedes and Maybach continue to develop a mid-cycle update for the S-Class sedans, which are expected to be introduced later this year. And we can see it right here. We have a couple of renderings of this new Mercedes S-Class refresh. So we have a new headlights here, and this is definitely going to be in the refresh. These star patterns inside of the headlights, not sure what I think about that. Similar to what we have on the E-Class in the rear end, for example. And you can see the rear view here as well. Further down, you still have these E-Class style for the taillights here. And here's the old one. Honestly, in this case, I do prefer the old taillights with this one single LED in the rear end instead of having it be these weird star patterns, because I don't feel like these star patterns have anything to do with the outline of the taillight. They just sit in here and are not framed very well, if that makes sense. The outline doesn't make sense to me for what we have in the internal pieces. But we do have this camouflage prototype that looks to be a proper 2-door S-Class coupe to me. So you can see it here. We do have this split window even in the middle, and we do have these multi-spoke wheels. I think this looks great, and I really want to, I don't want to see this be, you also have rear wheel steering, you can see it with the rear axle. I don't want to be a very, you know, limited production run. I want Mercedes to bring back the S-Class coupe, because it's such a special car, especially if you bring in details like this split window. But looking at the rear end here, I don't think I see a cut line for the passenger door, and it looks like it has more of a swooping coupe roofline than the normal S-Class. So this to me looks like a proper S-Class coupe, which is great to see. So with that said, let's jump in and have a look at this video, design footage from Mercedes Design Studio about the previous generation C-Class. And let's just see how, of course, it became the car that it is. I think this is one of the best looking C-Classes. Probably the best looking C-Class Mercedes has ever done.
Passion for modern aesthetics and innovative technology, and the courage to leave conventional forms of expression behind, our designers have developed a fascinating design idiom for the new C-Class. Both progressive and emotional highlights emphasize the forward-looking stylish design of the new C-Class and convey sensuous.
Every time I saw these type of videos when I was a kid, I was amazed. I thought it was such a cool job to be able to sculpt these cars from clay, from a sketch, and making it into 3D, have different variations. And then as a designer, you need to sell your idea to the management so they pick your specific design. I thought it was such a cool job. And look at this.
The task of bringing the design to fruition commenced.
Look at this line here. I love this line. This is something that obviously did not make it into production, but I love how the shoulder line dips here. Then we have a second shoulder line coming in and creating the outline for the taillights. It then goes in and have a nice flow to this line at the bottom, looking very, very tight and very nice. Something that, of course, did not go into, they didn't choose this specific design for the production model.
Is in the initial development phase with typical Mercedes perfection and attention to detail. In intensive discussions, the proportions, dimensions and lines are evaluated and checked for consistency. That same emotive design idiom sporting sensuous clarity is carried over into the interior too. Even the first design drafts show evidence of the contemporary luxury and dynamic sportiness that will later be found in the series production model.
I'd say let's have the separation there and then a gradual upward sweep towards the dashboard.
Upward sweeps in organic shapes? What? This is back in the day when we used to design proper looking interiors.
Theme, we have this sporty center console which has been designed with really sensuous lines and shapes. And the other design focus is these wings which sit on the dashboard.
Finely crafted three-dimensional elements emphasize the high-quality character of the interior. By working together on an ongoing basis, designers and engineers have succeeded in creating the perfect blend of fascinating form and purposeful function.
There's the suits, the management that you need to sell your idea to. Just check it out, every little detail about what you've been sketching up here.
The kind of aura it has.
Another highlight of the new C-Class is the reinterpreted center console with its sporty flowing lines and exceptionally high value appeal.
Such a beautiful interior, look at that.
On automatic models, the large one-piece center console panel sweeps elegantly from the armrest to the central air outlets. Manufactured from a single part, its continuous clear-cut lines create a captivating look. Marking another evolutionary step is the innovative touchpad. Its sculptured shape embodies our commitment to sensuous, clear-cut design.
All the small details, and this is what I've been saying now these days when we have everything being screens. Yes, I'm coming back to this point because look at this. Look at how beautiful every single small little detail is. Everything here has been designed. Every small button, every line on this line here has been sketched up by a designer and put into production instead of having what we have today. This is why I prefer older design. The older I get and the more new cars come out, the more I just prefer older designs.
Can we take a look at the drive programs on the screen?
The vehicle's various operating and display features, including the head-up display, instrument cluster and central display, are assigned precisely coordinated contents. The way in which these contents are presented visually has also been completely redesigned.
To orange, and then the customer can adjust the drive system.
Finally, an accurate one-to-one model is painstakingly crafted by hand.
Cool model there.
Last-minute touches and corrections to design details are then made to this model of the new C-Class, so that a definitive design can finally be decided upon.
Look at these taillights. It would be nice to see if they went into this in this direction instead of having the square ones that we had on the production model. This looks pretty cool, but honestly, I think in this case for the rear view, I do still prefer the ones that went into production over these ones. These look a little bit more traditional, which is not bad at all, but still, the boxiness of these taillights I don't feel follow the same flow as we had in the front end of this generation C-Class. I think he agrees with me, it looks like it.
Innovative lighting technology has opened up whole new creative possibilities for the designers of headlamp systems.
I think it's important for the lens to be in the ridge detailing once more.
Its contemporary and emotional design lends the new C-Class an unmistakable identity.
So at the top there's a section like this.
The clearly delineated daytime running lamps ensure a brand-typical appearance.
Now, if we take a look at how we've done that in the
Those are, of course, the taillights that went into production right there.
This is a very important area for
more
this car, and how this
less
line flows
horizontal
from the shoulder.
The digitally generated design data are incorporated into a real-life data control model, which serves as a reference model for all subsequent production processes.
the gap in this area as well.
The lines and highlights are also carefully checked on this reference model. The reflections of the strip lighting demonstrate the excellent surface quality. The design is now finalized. The new C-Class is ready for production.
C-Class. I mean, all the flowing lines, it just looks stunning. And there we go. We got the seal of approval and the production model rolls out. Let's have a look at this design. So this is right here. This is supposed to be the AMG version. The reason I say that is because we do have the quad tailpipes in the rear end, as you can see. And this is probably the one I would go for personally, instead of the Maybach version. But I do still like these wheels. These wheels look great. I do like the two-tone as well, even though I'm not sure the two-tone would suit an AMG model. We also have a lot of chrome in the front end. I think this is in fact the Maybach version here. They just slapped the quad tailpipes on the rear end. But you can see here we do have V8 bi-turbo, meaning that it's not the V12 that you're probably going to get in the Maybach version. The design here looks great, and it doesn't look like patent picture images to me. This looks like a you know, ready to go manufacturing, going to a manufacturing car. Now looking at the side view here, this is the thing I wanted to change. So you see the lines look great, the wheelbase is fantastic, long S-Class wheelbase, love the multi-spoke wheels again, beautiful shoulder line with a two-tone color. But the thing here that I wanted to change is if we remove these lines here, let's see if we can delete these lines, and I'm going to show you what the small little difference that I want to do here. You see the greenhouse up top. It looks like in this case we have the same greenhouse like we have in the four-door S-Class, meaning that they simply removed the cut line for the doors. It looks like we can still definitely have a passenger door there with this roof line, no problems at all. So what I want to do is make it just a little bit more coupe-like. So let's see what we can do here. Let's duplicate this layer and let's go in and do a quick little tweak to this design. So going to liquefy here, and let's see what we can do with this roofline. So I want to have it be more of a coupe shape, so just squish it down a little bit in the rear end and have more of a rounded shape for the rear passengers, because we don't really care about the passengers in this case. This being a, you know, two-door coupe, you still have plenty of space in the back, but headroom in the back is not something that we prioritize when it comes to big luxury coupes like this. Maybe even push in the rear end a little bit, and maybe also make it into a bit of a send-off in the rear here, something like that. This to me looks more like a proper, you know, CL successor. So just going back and forth here, you can see the small difference, but I think it's a tiny change, but I think it makes a huge difference, because now you can see this chrome piece here, the trim that goes around the window, now has a continuous curvature to it, and not this sedan-like, almost a corner in the right over the passenger heads. I want to have it be more of a rounded shape like this. But that's just a small detail here. You can see the before and after. I think this looks more like a proper luxury sedan. You're still going to have plenty of headroom, of course, in the rear end, but the styling is going to look more like a coupe. So looking at the rear end here, this being the AMG version, you can see that we do have the tailpipes, quad tailpipes, of course, looking great. And since they are squared off like this, it means that we either have the 65 or the 63 AMG. If we were to have the 53, these would be round like this, and that is not something we want to see. Of course, on a big S-Class, we need to have either the 63 or the 65 in this case. Again, the two-tone just suits this car overall. I think it's a stunning looking graphic design for this vehicle, and I also like the rear end with the current taillights that we have with all these LEDs in the middle. So very, very exciting to see Mercedes doing this. As I said, I hope this is not going to be like a limited production $2 million car and like 10 cars. I want to see this go into more of a mass production like the old generation S-Class coupe, because I think there is, again, I think there is a market for these type of cars. Even though a lot of them have disappeared today, I think if we bring them back, if we give them another chance, it's going to turn out to be a success.